Hi everyone, hope you all are doing great. Today we have Mr. Anand Jays, who is a Bangalore-based writer, a budding filmmaker, and a poet at heart. A graduate in journalism and mass communication from SRM University, um, is working as a content writer for the last 6 years. He started his professional writing career in 2015 at the Technology Headlines as a content writer, and now he's the editor and the content lead um, at there. So speaking about his hobbies, he has a wide range of hobbies. He has made a short film titled "Withering Leaves," which touches about racism and the hypersensitivity among youth. And he writes a lot on mental health and the overall challenges faced by today's youth. He has written articles in My Story, Times of India, and Medium. So let's hear more from him. Anand bro, welcome to this interview.
Hi.
Thanks a lot for
Thanks.
taking some time out for this and sharing your life experiences. So the first
Thanks for
question,
the
it's completely my pleasure, and I'm sure the viewers are going to get gems and so much insights from you. So the first
yeah.
question is, speaking about your life experiences, please tell us about your early days, when you fell in love with reading, writing, and literature, and what made you want to be a journalist and a writer.
So I completed my schooling in my hometown only, Trivandrum. But after the schooling, I wanted to pursue journalism and mass communication since I was like interested in reading from the school time. And so I couldn't find a right college in my hometown, Kerala, Trivandrum. So I left to Chennai. Then I moved to Chennai SRM University. Then I started my career over there. Going from my hometown is the main thing that has helped me like understand a lot about different culture, the people coming from different communities, how people react to certain situation. All this stuff I got to know. The even in our own country we have a lot of discrimination based on our caste, religion, color, and all this stuff I got to know when I moved to Chennai. I'm not saying that I was being discriminated by anyone. I was just observing the things that were going on around me, and that helped me to understand about the dynamics of our society, our communities, and how the things are in our world. So, when it comes to writing, I was always a person who had uh, existential questions from a very young age. I was not at all a conventional person. A conventional means I was not at all ready to accept what society was like conditioning me to believe. I never went with those kind of ideas because I always had a question for everything, anything and everything, from all the structures of our hierarchy to everything. I had questions. So poetry was a medium for me to express those questions and at least share it around my friend circle, so that they will also have an idea that you can think from these perspectives also. I wanted people to force them from the comfort zone and think from other perspectives. So I used poetry as a medium, not only to reach people, but it was a sense of satisfaction for me also. After finishing the each poem, it gave me a sense of satisfaction. So that was the route I took to what to say to to grow internally and all. So I am not able to hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Um, I completely understand, and I know the poems that you have written. I have read them, and so
Yeah.
amazing those are. So the
Yeah.
second question is, what are some of your favorite books? Because you
Uh,
told that you are not a conventional person, so we would be interested to know what range.
because I go with my regional language literature. I rely on my regional language literature to get more ideas and inspiration and all. I am a person. You might have heard about M.T. Vasudevan Nair. Is a very famous writer from Kerala. You can associate with people like Mahasweta Devi from Bengal. So he's one of the favorite writers of my my hometown, and his book called Kalam is a widely accepted book, and he had got Kendra Sahitya Academy Award for that book in 1960. So my taste is in my regional language literature more than the Hollywood, more than the international language, I would say. When it comes to Indian literature, I would say Indian English literature, I would say The God of Small Things of Arundhati Roy has influenced me a lot because the landscape she discusses in the book is also my hometown. Kerala is the main landscape of the book. So God of Small Things was something that I could relate a lot. So Indian English literature, I have read very less only. Besides Arundhati Roy, most of my favorites are from my own regional literature, and I like some uh, something from international aspects also. International literature also has influenced me to a certain extent.
Okay, so it's been 5 years you are writing professionally. So how do you
Yeah.
approach writing, and what is the process you follow while writing?
So, so I came into the professional writing thinking that I am a very good writer because I have already, what to say, established myself as a screenwriter through short films and poetry and all, and I had written a lot for my college newspapers and all. I thought I was very good at business writing. I can also be very good at business writing, but when I came to this industry, professional writing industry, I understood that the things that you do with your creative space, you can't use the same thing in the business writing space, because business writing is a lot about marketing and all those stuff. So here, more than anything, we want is clarity. But in creative writing, the difference is you can give the room for a lot of interpretation, which we can't do in business writing at all. The clarity is very important. There is no room for interpretation, because the person who is sitting opposite to me, who is reading the content, he should understand what this guy is trying to say, because you can't have a space for ambiguity in business writing. So I always go with first writing a general draft for myself. Everybody knows that every writer will go through the same way. Like I will have a first draft first, then I will give at least 1 day or half a day for me to like relax and come back, and then I will go with the editing process. Like this, I write my general my business writing kind of articles. But when it comes to creative writing, it is all intuition based. Like I go with my own flow, even if it is a personal kind of blog which I write for your story or medium and all. I go with my intuition, my thought process, and what I want to say. I don't go with what the reader will think, and all. Whatever I want to communicate, I will communicate. That's how I do. I differentiate between business writing and my own personal writing, I would say.
Speaking about business writing, so what are the tools that you use while writing?
I don't. I'm not at all a technical person. I'm very bad at using different technologies. So, uh, I still read William Sincere's own writing will. That is the one book that has taught me how to write. So seriously, if I am being grateful to any, I didn't have a mentor when I started out in my career. These 5 years, I was self-learning everything. I take pride in that, but it is also sad because if you compare me with the other writers who have 5 years of experience in the industry, many people have been mentored well. I didn't have a mentor. Besides, one friend called Suraj, he recently expired. He was the one who gave me some kind of idea about writing when I started out in the career. He mentored me for 3 months. I can say. Besides that, nobody has mentored me or anything. So I was self-learning everything from William Sincere's book to Harvard Business Review's book of business writing and Elements of Style. These are the three main books which I consider as the Bible or Mahabharata. You can say anything about non-fiction writing, which I always go back to understand the basics and to strengthen my writing.
Okay. So you also have been writing a lot on mental health and problems faced by today's youth. So what made you do so?
Because I am a person who comes with a different kind of background. Why I said conventional was I have a different kind of history. Um, During my school days, I was a very below average student, so I was too much into this rowdyism and all. the stuffs that youngsters do at school and all. So I was too much into fighting, making bullying people, making fun of people. I was a very extrovert person. But now, if you ask to anybody, my colleagues or to my friends, I'm a very introvert person. But this was not the case while I was studying in school. From school days, then when I went to college days, I have experimented with some psychedelic stuffs and all, which has given me which has both advantages and disadvantages. There are pros and cons of using psychedelics, but the age, 18, 19 and all is the age where you go and explore stuff. So that gave me a lot of creative juice to come out with poetry, cinema, filmmaking and all. But I got some issues such as anxiety, paranoia, and also mental health was always a issue. But I wouldn't say it is completely because of the psychedelics, because from the very young age, when I was in sixth standard, when I was 12 years old also, I had mental health issues, because I was always contemplating about suicide from a very young age. So I know what all a person goes through mentally, when it comes to this existential stuff, questioning about our existence, our identity crisis. The identity crisis is something I talk a lot in my personal writing, because many youngsters, we all are trying to live someone's dream, because we are being manipulated by the media, from the social media, all this stuff. So we don't know what we want really, because people are saying this is what you have to do, this is what you need to flourish in your life, which most of the time, which it wouldn't be in sync with our personality or our character. So I would say these youngsters don't have a space as compared to how it was in the past, in the 1980s or 70s. Though the globalization and the arrival of internet and the proliferation of social media and all is a good thing, we have to also understand that youngsters are losing their identity. They don't know what they really want. So it always leads to mental health issues, besides the pressure added upon by our parents and society and all. They also go through a lot of stuff. That is why I talk a lot about mental health. So I was also a person who has evolved over the years, from a rowdy in school to a hippie person. I was a hippie kind of a person in my during my college days. From there to an anarchy kind of person who was completely opposing everything that society was forcing us to believe in. From there, now I am completely off everything, and I'm purely focusing on building my career up, and focusing more on how to write better articles, how to educate young men and women about the mental health issues. And I am trying to take the stigma out of mental, and I'm trying to make it very normal stuff, like how you, when you get a fever, you go to doctor, or how you communicate that to your friend. We should be able to communicate about our mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, anything you call it, it has to be communicated. So now I'm a person who is more focused into writing about these stuff. This is what gives me a sense of fulfillment. Still, there is a writer in me who wants to express some stories also through screenwriting. I'm not a person now more into direction kind of things, because I'm not focusing on the technical aspect. But there is always a screenwriter in me who wants to communicate to people. I want to make movies based on mental health also. After writing a series of articles and getting established as a writer in all the in this space, I would most probably would do some movies also based on these kind of topics.
That's so great to know that. So yeah, apart from what you do as a professional, you also have a lot of hobbies. So would you please tell us something about those? Like you said about filmmaking and.
This is a hobby, and this is what I am advocating to a lot of young guys and girls. I was a very unfit person till I turned 24. So I was not at all into sports during my school days or college days. I was not a sports guy. I was the last one to get picked in a team for a cricket or a football, because I was fat guy. I was very lazy guy who was not at all interested in sports. Now I'm much into fitness. Why? Because more than the aesthetic side, even I have written about it in an article on Medium. Fitness is not just about aesthetics. uh, how it helps me mentally to have more clarity on life. A lot of stuff I can't just say it in one or two words. Fitness has helped me quit smoking, quit smoking up. and a lot of bad habits that I had. Fitness has helped me cope up with the life. Fitness has helped me learn that there is much more in you, because during you get tested every day when you are into a routine like fitness. When you start taking fitness, I'm not talking about the six pack culture that the social media promote. I'm talking about marathon running or doing whatever it is. Whether you like to dance, you dance. Whether you like to run, you run. Whether you like to lift weight, you lift weight. That's not an like it depends on the person. It depends on the interest of the person, but it can help a lot with your anxiety, I would say. It's a therapy for me. Fitness is a therapy for me. I am so much into natural bodybuilding. Natural bodybuilding is something that I look forward to. Why? Because it helps me. The lifting weights and doing stuff helps me a lot to process my thoughts, go through my all these mental issues that I have. Like I'm a person, whenever I go out to people, in front of people, I am a person who get a lot of inferior kind of questions in my mind. Like so if I'm in my regular routine of fitness, that will give me some sense of confidence that you are a person who can go through any kind of suffering. So exposing, which would be the perfect line, like exposing myself to suffering every day, that gives me a sense of clarity. So fitness is kind of a suffering. It's not something that you can easily do. It's not something that you see on a Instagram shot or a Instagram video. It's something that you have to put a lot of mental energy into doing a 50 push-ups or a 7-kilometer run. So that gives me some kind of clarity in life. So that's my main hobby right now. Besides that, right, like reading articles of non-fiction writers and trying to improve my writing. These are the things, and I'm also learning content marketing by side. These are the 3 4 things I focus on my free time. Also watching movies, all this stuff.
That's great to know. What are your suggestions before we sign up? I would like to know what would you suggest aspiring and new writers, as well as your message to the youth.
If you ask me to narrow down to a message, I don't have anything to say. Like I can't say something like that. Is experience life to its fullest. Like life is an experience. There is nothing to be what to say. You should not get stuck and you should not give up on life. Life is an experience. It's nothing more than that. You have to experience it to its fullest. Like you want to travel, you travel. You want to read, you read. You want to make a movie, you make a movie. If you want to go into fashion, you go into fashion. If you don't want to marry, you don't marry. So whatever you want to do, it should be your thing. It's not like what society says or what your parents says. Whatever your heart wants to do, you do it. Only thing that is you should make sure that you're being honest to yourself. That honesty, because sometimes we confuse the word passion. Because some people I have heard saying that this is not the job I like, I want to do something in another profession, that is where my passion lies. I What my life has taught me is that you should be able to bring your passion into everything you do. That's how you show your character. If your passion is something other also, if whatever you're doing, you should give your 100%. That is how you develop a proper personality, proper space in the society. Then you would be able to do other things also. But giving an excuse of that my passion lies there and this is not what I am supposed to do is not the right way to go, I would say. That would be my message. If you want to say, you bring your best into everything, you live your life to fullest, experience life. More than that, there is nothing. Experience life to its fullest.
Thank you so much, Anand. It was great talking to you, and your insights and what you said is going to have great value to the aspiring writers as well as people who are going to watch this video. So I thank you again. Thanks a lot for
Thank
taking
you,
your
Saurabh,
time
for
out, and thank you very much.
thank you, Saurabh. Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
You too.